I don't know if that even makes any sense at all, right? Like, I shouldn't be adding more things into my workload. I should be lessening them. Yet I feel like the more things I do, because when I'm adding things that I'm doing, I'm adding things that I enjoy doing, and the things that are actually overwhelming me are things that I have no choice but to do. But anyways, let's go. Random as hell. So I think we're going to test. We'll open that up. So here are the updates to our Olive Green Roots studio. At least that's what it's called at the moment, because I did create it for Olive Green Roots for the videos and stuff that I was creating. Any of the videos that you guys have seen me do, or any of the videos that you've seen on Olive Green Roots that looks like motion graphics and all those kind of things, were created here. And I've added a couple features and stuff to the software to make it pretty useful and cool for other people to use. One of the first things that I did that I think is pretty cool, that doesn't seem that great, is a quality of life improvement. It's this over here. So you can now expand and collapse the left side panel as well, along with the right side panel, right? So before you could always do this, but now you can also do it here, this side. For some reason, I hadn't added that feature this side, so there you go. And then another thing that I added, you will notice over here, there's layers. So now whenever we create something, so let's go to the library, we're going to add, let's go to the existing stuff. So a summary card, for example, let's click play. There's our summary card. It appears again. Like I said, this was for save. This was for Olive Green Roots. So all of the assets and stuff that I have preloaded onto the app, stuff that are relevant to Olive Green Roots. So you click play, it'll appear, and then this would happen, right? I think this save to spend number should have been instead of being this just text, I think it should be a number. It should be a number count thing, right? So that like it counts up, but that's fine. That's besides the point. You click play, it appears. And then if you go to layers, pause. If you go to layers, you can actually see the different layers of something. Because before, my software didn't really know how to handle. Let me do this, and I'm gonna add another thing. There we go. I've added states row, right? Maybe not states row. Let me delete this. Let me add something a bit more. Okay, yeah, there we go. So before, my app didn't really know how to treat a situation like this where we have two things right on top of each other, right? It could treat it knew what to do when it was maybe one. In fact, even here. So let me just show you what I mean. This is the new thing that we've added, right? And at the moment, everything looks fine. We added this first and then we added this on top. So this is on top of this one, right? But if I change their position in the timeline and I move this further away, you see it gets moved to the bottom here, but it's still at the bottom, right? And this is still at the top. It doesn't matter the positioning. I could like you can't move this above that or whatever. There's like the layers don't really work that way. All right. So this is always going to be on top because I added it afterwards. Whether it's first or last in the timeline, it's always going to be the first thing. So that's why I created this layer section over here. So now you can adjust things and their position, whether something is appears in front of something or appears behind something. We can actually now edit that. Took me too long to explain that. Jeez, I need to work on that. So in this instance, I want save to spend. I want save to spend to appear in front of this. So we're gonna go to layers and then, oops, how, ooh, did I not, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't add the feature where you can actually adjust it, where you can actually move it. Well, that's a pity, but at least you can see the layers. You can kind of understand which one's on top of which one here. But I'm going to add the feature on the next update so that we can move those things around. I guess this was a useless update to show you guys. But it's coming soon, I guess, you know, it's a problem. And then another thing as well was I changed how this looked. I changed what this looked like. This is smaller, it's more intricate, and I added these buttons over here, right? So the undo and redo, obviously you could control Z, control Z, control Y to bring things back. Oh, I think it was control Z and control shift Z. Yeah, it was control Z and control shift Z to undo and redo something. But now you can actually just quickly, swiftly do it here. So that's cool. This is a lot easier. That's great. Another one of the updates is that if what do you call this? Things, this view and this view are going to have the same moments around the same point in time. So let me just start this before. You see that? And then if we go here, it will be the same order and then that, right? The only thing that's not preserved is their position, because obviously you'd want to move things around. You might want to change the scale as well. If I go to style and I change this element size, make it smaller, and I change this element and make it smaller and try to put it next to each other, it should play. There we go. Excuse me, hiccups. But if we go here, I do not want it to change the scale permanently for something, but that's fine. I'll fix that. But the thing that's actually changed most of the time, um, the positions, not the position, the elements and their position in the timeline is always going to be the same. This is a horrible explanation video, to be honest with you. I did add the option for dark mode and light mode, but light mode looks horrendous at the moment. There's still a lot of things that I haven't fixed. That's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. Okay, let's go to the more exciting changes. I'm going to once again add something random. Let's do a highlight. I'm going to move it right to the beginning of the timeline. Let's move it here. Right. So, for example, with this instance, we have highlight. And normally, what you might want to do, maybe to change the size of this number, would be over here, right? You might want to adjust it here or whatever the case might be. Here you could adjust it or whatever. But if I wanted to change the color of that card, the background, if I change the color here, you'll notice it's not really doing anything, right? So we lack the ability to change the specific, we can change the color of the words, but as soon as we try to change the color of the card itself, we don't have that ability, right? There's nowhere else where you can do that. So now I created an additional workspace. There are two additional workspaces, but let's just go straight to the widget editor. The widget editor is here now, right? So the widget editor is actually part of Olive Green Root Studio app. Before I was treating them as two separate apps, but now it's one app. So what I can do is I can go to here and then I can, sorry, I want to change, we already saw that we can change the size of the stuff, but I want to change the color of the card itself, right? So we'll go here, fill color, and no, why? Oh, there we go. I was changing the wrong color. So we can change it to black. Oh, this is the text, the color of text, but there's no text anyways. So it's going to stay transparent. Sorry, I wasn't reading. And then if we go all the way back to edit, you'll see that the card has actually changed. And then if we decide to change the color of the text, I mean the size of the text here to like 40, and then we go to here, it's not preserved, but we should be able to change it here to 40 pixels. 40 pixels. Why is it not changing? Okay. I mean, I guess there is still some work to be done there. I changed it to 40. Okay. It's 41, but yeah, negligible change, I guess. So yeah, so now we have a widget editor, right? So where we can edit each and every aspect of our widget. If you are brave enough to jump into the code and stuff, you can always do that. You can have a look at the code over here. You can see also different things that you can adjust and add. You can create your own widget even, sorry. You can create your own widget here, and then you can import it over to the studio. I haven't looked at that workflow yet, so I'm not even going to try it on this one. I think I'll do it on the next video. Let's move on to the next thing. We have keyframes. Okay, now with keyframes, what this allows me to do is, let's go all the way to the beginning here. So At the moment, we have no way. So we have these introduction and outro animations that play, right? Actually, I think I just found out what that edge is. Oops. I think this is going to a different scene. So let me change this. I need to improve what how the scene works here. But anyways, stop that. Okay. I think I know what. No, never mind. I thought this white changed the color of the borders, but it doesn't. It's obsolete. But you can always just click on edit widget and it takes you here, which is great. But anyways, I was saying if we go to elements now, here's a question: what if we can animate? We can do like the intro videos and stuff, which is in the motion graphics section over here. We can choose how it scales in. Does it wipe? So let's just choose wipe for example. This is wipe. See that? Wipe, wipe. That's wipe. As for the intro, and then the outro will be that. All right, and you can have a look at it here. Motion wipe, and then for the outro, exit fade at 0.4. I want to be I'm going to add ability for you to better be able to customize your outros and stuff. But essentially, that's how you kind of like animate the beginning and the ending of um, an element. But now the question is, what if I want to animate something else? What if I wanted to slide in, right? So what if I wanted to like just come in and then be there? How do I animate that, right? Would I have to like create an if like add an effect here or whatever the case might be? The easiest way to do that, which everyone who is in animation and stuff is aware of, or is familiar with, is through the keyframes. So we're gonna say right here at the beginning, the position on the y-axis is 0 and 0, but we are going to move it at the beginning of the screen a bit. So negative, negative. Let's move this back to 0 and move this back to 0. We're going to say at the beginning of the animation, x is negative 100, right? And then we're going to add that there. And then we're going to say somewhere around here, we're going to make it 0. All right. There we go. And we can actually go in here and say, instead of negative 100, let's make it negative 500, right? Because it looked like negative 100, it was still showing. But now we have an animation of it sliding in, right? And again, you can also control how smooth or like what the animation of it sliding in is like, right? Is it steady? Is it smooth? Or whatever the case might be. I'm planning on adding a couple more functionalities over here just to make it a little bit more fun to mess around with. Um, but yeah, there we go. So now we have this as well, right? So we can animate the scale, we can animate the rotation as well. I also want to add the ability to rotate things on all three axes, y, x, and z, right? Because one of the cool features that I might have not shown. Oh no, I clicked on home by mistake. It's not gonna save anything, but that's fine. One of the cool features that I didn't show you guys yet is media. Ooh, do I want to do this? Okay, let me. I'm going to upload a picture. Let's see if I have any pictures I can use. Um, do I have any pictures I can use of a model or something? Okay, so there's this picture that me and my friend were messing around with, as you can see over here. Um, it was a picture of we're working on a project. I'm gonna say because I don't want to give it away in case it's still in the works. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to increase the element size 300 rands. That's it sucks to have a limit of 300. um I don't know. What would I do? Let's go to library, and then we're going to add an effect. um Let's bring this all the way there. Oh, are we having a situation where the picture is on top of? Yeah, there's a problem. I need to fix this ASAP. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Um, let's add something else. Let's see. Closing lookup. Yeah, this is a problem because the picture just remains right at the top. So let me try and add something. Reply bubble, and then I'm gonna go to my media and add a picture. The picture is always going to be on top. Anyways, I want to add a rotation because at the moment, the rotation on these elements, let's go to keyframes. The rotation is only on it's only on one axis on top of that actually. So it's either positive or negative, right? But I want to be able to rotate it in 3D space almost. Just in case you can imagine if somebody has their phone and then you want this text to look like it's coming from their phone. You know what? Okay, but then at the moment I can't even do that because the elements are coming up behind the picture as opposed to being on top of the picture. So that's fine for now. But yeah, that'll be it for all the updates. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Is there anything else? I mean, obviously, along with me like adding this workspace into the app, I've had to kind of improvise on what it looks like in general, right? So like this is kind of the outlook of it at the moment. Um, yeah, man, I think that's it. That'll be just about it. I'm planning on adding a couple more features, but I want to fix a couple of things as I go along, especially this thing with the picture. Excuse me. This thing with the picture where when the picture is there, it's always going to be right at the top, as opposed to something that I want to be a background, for example, right? What I can even do, you know what? I think this last part, I'm gonna see how quickly I can do it. I want to no, I'm not gonna import a picture like that. I'm gonna import an image as a scene. All right, I'm gonna click on this scene. I'm gonna delete these two. There's no need for them. I'm gonna click on this scene over here. Instead of a color, I'm gonna choose an image, and I'm gonna browse for that image. I know if I go to documents, I think is it design, assets, stock images. Nice. So I have an image over here, brilliant, of someone looking at their phone. But the problem is that I can't move the picture. I guess that's going to be another thing I'm going to have to work on. Contain maybe. Okay, nice. So they're on their phone, right? So I want the picture. I want, oops, I want a blind item. No, that's too big. I want something small. A summary card maybe. Eh, I want a amount, upcoming bills. Okay. Oh yeah, because I added it as a background. I think the only issue here is again, I want to be able to rotate this in 3D space, but at the moment I can only rotate it if I go on here without even clicking on the marks. If I try to rotate this, as you can see, it's only rotating it on one axis, right? Clockwise. I can't do it anti-clockwise. I can't do it on a different axis at all. So I'm gonna do that on the next update. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next big update. Yeah.